paint on this room looks pretty good, but these baseboards could use some help. I've chosen a semi-gloss paint to touch these up and really elevate the space. They're gonna be easier to clean and the room's gonna really pop. So let's get started. So the first step in cleaning it up is to vacuum it. I'm gonna use this attachment that has a lot of bristles on it, and they're gonna help to kind of get all of the dirt out of all the little spots right here on our baseboard. And now I'm gonna clean the baseboards using a slightly damp sponge. I've made my cleaning solution using a mild dish detergent and water. After using the cleaning solution, I'm gonna come back with a sponge moistened with just plain fresh water. Sometimes your baseboards aren't immediately ready to be painted and you're gonna have to do a little bit of extra prep work. Today you can see that we have some peeling layers of paint here, so we're gonna wanna remove that before we move on to the next step. It's quite satisfying. Once you've removed all of your loose paint chips, you're gonna wanna use a sanding block to begin sanding it down and getting it nice and even for our next step, which is priming and painting. I noticed some cracks and gaps in our baseboards, and so I'm gonna fill in those areas using paintable caulk. You can use your finger to guide it or one of these handy tools, which gives you a variety of corner options. To keep things nice and clean and have a great clean edge, you're gonna wanna use painter's tape where your baseboard meets the wall and also where your trim meets the floor. I put a drop cloth down to protect our wood floors here. I'm using a 2-inch sash brush and insert just the tip of your brush. You don't wanna get too much paint into your brush because it will be impossible to get it clean later. You're gonna start by putting it against the baseboard and wiggle it just a little bit to get it started. And then slowly drag your paint across the baseboard, getting a nice even coat. When you see it start to feather and run out like that, it's your signal to put a little bit more paint on your brush. When you get back with your loaded brush, you're gonna wanna overlap to where your paint started to run out before. Sometimes you might have little divots or uneven areas in your baseboard, and when that's the case, you're gonna wanna go back and forth with your brush to really get the bristles into both sides of that hole, and you can see how it fills it right in. So when we have a drip like this, we're gonna take the corner of the brush, start it in the drip, and pull it towards you. Push slightly to get your paint flowing out of the bristles, and then pull it towards you, getting a nice even coat and a clean edge. When you're painting trim, it's best to work in 1-foot sections at a time. Painters like to call this keeping a wet edge. Especially with your high gloss finishes where you might see the brush strokes, it's good to keep working into itself. You'll want to apply 2 coats of paint with at least 4 hours of drying time between coats. And now that we're finished, you can see how that semi-gloss paint made the room nice and fresh.